Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. And today I want to talk with you about navigating through life transitions. And what do I mean by saying life transitions? I mean navigating and moving from and to different seasons in our lives. And it can be from school, middle school to high school, from high school to university, from university to the workforce, and it can be everything in between, going in and out relationships and dealing with certain emotions and dealing with certain things that we want, whether if it's new things that we want or whether if it's things that we always wanted. And how do we manage to do those transitions without putting too much on ourselves? And how did I do it, and where do I am now with everything that's going on in my life? So the way I look at it is kind of like seasons, life seasons. And I think every season has its own characteristic, whether it's the people you are around and who are your friends, the place you're in, and your responsibility over yourself. Let's take, for example, when you are in middle school. I think most of us in middle school, if not all of us, when we were younger, we used to live in our parents' place. So that means we are not so independent. We have a roof over our head. We have food that probably our parents made us. And we don't have to think too much about that, You just focus about having fun and to be with friends and studying in school. You don't pay for your school as well. So you are not independent. Your friends are the same friends you have for a long time, probably. And the people you are around middle school are people you know for a long time. At least that was in my case, And then going up to high school, all of this changed a little bit. I was still a little bit not independent, right? We are not so independent in high school because at least some of us, I guess, but still living with our parents, still have almost the same friends, but new people are coming into our lives, new friends, new experiences. So high school is basically almost the same as middle school, but a little bit different. And I think this transition for me wasn't so crazy, if you will. But the real transition came from high school to university, in my opinion. And the reason is that usually when we go to university, this is the first time in our life when we are independent, that we need to pay for our own roof. We need to pay rent. We need to pay for most of our food, if not all of it. We need to work, right? It's the first time we're working full time in order to cover all of the costs of living in our life. Same goes to like going out or whatever. We need to be more calculated with what we're doing. And also not all of us are living next to our parents anymore. In our parents' house and or next to them, Some of us going to study abroad in university, like me, that's what happened to me. And this is a new challenge, This is a new challenge because you are starting to think with yourself who your friends will be. Will you have friends? How will everybody perceive you? How often will I see my family, my friends from back home, my parents? And will I be able to feel comfortable in the new environment that I'm in? And on top of all of that, you have also transitions between different relationships, right? Whether it's friends relationship, as I already mentioned, but also maybe romantic relationships that shapes the person you are. And this can also come to effect when thinking about challenges in those transitions. So if I focus for a second on the period where between high school and university, and what I did in order to survive this transition. So first of all, I always say it in the videos, but I thought really through about whether if I want to move and whether if I want to do this step of leaving my parents' house, moving to another country, and taking that risk of moving from that comfortable place I know and my parents' place into a whole new country. And that means I need to live alone. I need to survive alone. And I cannot drive 20 minutes to my parents anymore. And I don't have my friends next to me. And these are all new challenges. But first of all, I thought it through, so there was also something that relieved my feelings about the whole scenario, because once you think things through and you weigh everything and you really think logically with yourself, then you can tell yourself that you decided not out of emotion or out of rational response or whatever, but you decided out of a place where nothing can surprise you, or at least you minimized the factor of surprise because you really thought about it through and you thought about the process and about what will happen, which challenges you will meet. And then I moved out, to Europe, new continent, new country. And it was, at the beginning, it was weird, I can't say it was hard, but because I did expect those challenges, but it was a bit weird. Living alone in a different country, it almost felt like a vacation in the beginning, But one thing that helped me, and I remember I was coming into an empty place, no roommates. The roommates only came like 2 weeks later. I didn't know anyone. I had a list of things that I needed to do, like go in the government, sign up as a citizen, whatever. Get a new phone number, make a medical insurance. And all of those things were things that I already wrote in advance. And I knew that I need to face those things once I get there. So this is also something I advise you. If you are in a transition period in your life, sit down with yourself and ask yourself, what are the challenges that I am expected to experience? And make a list and write down exactly what you need to do when those challenges arrive. Minimize the factor of surprise, exactly as I said before. And this also helped me with fear. I wasn't as fearful about the situation, and the anxiety wasn't there because I already knew and expected all of those things in advance. And also one point to mention is that I moved out because of the reason that I wanted to study in Europe. There was a big dream for me, for a while. And I think this is also an important reason, because once you have the why, everything else is just shrinking, Once you have the reason you want to do something, everything else is sacrificable, If you want to do something so much, you're going to even sacrifice the time with your friends. You're going to even sacrifice the time with your family. But this is exactly what I meant. You need to sit down with yourself before this transition or before you make decisions and really weigh in all of the possibilities and all of the challenges and all of the thing you will lose and all of the thing you will gain if you make this transition in your life. And if you did it correctly, nothing will surprise you. Then after university, I can think of work, joining the workforce. And this is where I am right now. And I want to talk with you about it for a moment. So I'm 28. And until now, I had the why, as I mentioned before. I had the reason of why am I doing those things. I had it very clear, But sometimes I think that, especially lately, that it's not as strong as it used to be. My why, my reason of doing things. And some reasons I can think about are, I like new stuff. I like new stuff. I'm not necessarily only wanting to do that one thing that I always wanted to do. Just because I'm interested in new stuff, we evolve, we develop. And I also think that university kind of made me a little bit tired of what I do, If you get forced of doing a certain thing, then it gets out all of the fun from it, And I think this is what happened to me. I'm playing guitar and I'm forced every week to come and to study and to prepare things, but not necessarily because I like them, but because I have to. And this is something I knew, but I thought the experience will be different for me. But this is also something I learned about myself, and it's a good lesson, But I don't think I will continue with another study after this. Maybe like a little course or something, but not like a bachelor, which take years of your life, So I think overall it's just about finding the why. And now I'm really thinking of, what do I want to do? And I am sitting down with myself and I'm thinking. It's a long process, I write down all of the options I have. What do I want to do? I want to do this. 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 and I prioritize, and eventually I will have to choose one that I go for. And maybe you guys can relate as well about the fact that sometimes everything is possible and it's just hard to choose. It's not about not having anything to choose, but it's about everything is possible and open for me. What do I choose? And this is a challenge for me. This is a new challenge, and I'm trying to overcome it. And I guess time is playing a factor as well, because as time go by, I am cooking the right answer in my head, and where do I need to go. And I think by the time I'm going to finish my bachelor, which is in a month, I will have a more clear answer. So just know that, yeah, you're not alone in the situation. If you are also experiencing that kind of thing, it is natural. But as I said in the previous video, I try to look at it as an opportunity. One door closes, another one will open, but it will open in the right time. I am always eager to do more and experience more. And what do I do next? But wait, I didn't even finish my bachelor yet, and I want to know what am I doing next. It's really hard, and I don't think things happen that way. And on top of that, I'm turning 30 soon, and this is also something I think about. What do I want to do in my 30s? How do I want my next 10 years to look like? Next 10 years of my life. Do I want a partner? Which job do I want? Do I want a job? Maybe I want to start a company. Where do I want to live? In Europe, maybe outside of Europe, America, I don't know. Which career do I want to pursue? Which place do I want to pursue? All of those thoughts are coming into my head, and this is new for me, of course, because I've never been 30 before, but I don't know. I guess I'm just sharing stuff with you guys and emotions that I experience now. And if you guys can relate, just know that you are not alone, But I tend to just detach a lot of those worries from myself. And it's hard, but I think that's the right way to go, Now that I'm in the end of my bachelor, and the reason I'm doing things is a little bit shaky. And also, studying was my dream. Studying was my why. So now that my why is no longer the same why, I need to find a new reason. And I also think you need to value passion. You need to value quality of living, and you need to value whatever makes you feel good. Because at the end of the day, you're going to spend so much time on what you do, on your work, on your journey, that if it's not something that you like, I think you're going to be a little bit depressed and disappointed eventually. So this is also something that I'm trying to remind myself now when I'm thinking of my next step of my life. And yeah, I guess today it's a bit of a weird video, but I gave you some advices on how I deal with this stuff, and that the why is the number one thing that matters, because next to that why, everything else shrinks. But now I'm in a crossroad, and now I need to decide, and it's not that easy. But I'm sure I will decide eventually, and I will decide what's the best for me. And if you are also in that place, just know you're not alone, because that's life, and we need to find ways to navigate through those life periods and those transitions. So yeah, if you're not subscribed yet, please do, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.